It's KD the one, and I am back with another installment of the Karmelo Anthony case. Now, the reason I'm not calling this a review, it's mostly because I don't want to give no real light to either side of this. That's the main problem I see with this, is that their sides is the fact that people have the choice to be on Carmelo's side or be on the other kid's side. I can't agree with that. No matter how much y'all try to paint that in the light, I cannot agree. But this is going to be the final installment. We're going to check out two different accounts. Like I said, I don't really want to give them their shout outs, but we're around the same part in this, and they're explaining the new footage that came out about the Karmelo Anthony case. I'm not gonna lie. I want y'all to actually hear this. I want y'all to hear this because I'm gonna play both clips back to back. After I play this one, I'm gonna play the other one. And I want y'all to hear the narrative and see how they're twisting y'all minds. I want y'all to see how a person that looks like you can get pushed up to end up fucking up your own perspective of shit.
The person who retaliates is everything but a child of God. Very interesting.
Oh wait, I ain't even gonna lie. Unc was cooking.
Like, aren't we all taught to keep our hands to ourselves because we know the consequences? Because
I had something to say about this like a couple of days ago when I first made the Karmelo Anthony video. But I ain't even gonna lie. The internet, I'm gonna say this first before I say real life. Like the internet, they like to play a game of if you don't do something, you a pussy. You don't do something, you a pussy. Now I ain't even gonna lie, I'm a nigga who don't care about what the internet says. Now let's talk about real life. We live in a life where people are full of pride, people are full of hate. People find every reason to sit there and escalate the altercation. We can't sit here and act like Carmelo Anthony didn't have a prideful mind to sit here and escalate the situation. Same thing for Austin. We can't act like either one of them didn't have a part to play in that, where either one of them could have been better. Either way, I also want y'all to hear what he says when he sees the video and see how both of their sides just switch.
we know that you can't control somebody else's reaction if you put your hands on them. Yeah. Some of y'all get that. I mean, it's funny how y'all get that when you want to get it. But then when you don't want to get it, the person who retaliates is everything but a child of God. Very interesting. Here's the video. So that looks like Austin and his twin brother walking. You can see one going through first and then the other right here. So you'll see the tents. You'll see Carmelo coming through right there. That's Carmelo highlighted. And he's
Okay, before we add on, I want y'all to hear
walking toward
the other lady's mindset on this, because it's around the same part.
To give you a better understanding of what actually happened that day, notwithstanding the lies that perpetrate the media right now. On your screen here, you can see Austin Metcalf entering the stadium. There he is. Poor guy has no idea what's about to happen to him. The 17-year-old looking like the epitome of health and vigor. Just minutes before his murder, he has no idea his life is about to end. And here's Carmelo walking up to the bleachers from the steps.
See, this is where I see it differ. Unc didn't sit here and pitify the situation. He didn't sit here and start off, fucking Carmelo Anthony didn't know what's going to happen to him today. He didn't know. Mind you, these videos were posted on this like a similar day last week. Like, information came out, people just fed to give out their point and opinion. It's why I waited, because everybody's going to spew nonsense to you. Everybody's going to spew their opinion but they're not going to let you think about this shit yourself.
In the middle of the stadium. He's highlighted in this video. He comes up the stairs and heads down toward the tent where Austin Metcalf was standing with his teammates. I've got to say, like, throughout this, I don't see like the downpour that necessitated him. He had to go underneath the tent.
Wait. I want to hear that again because that didn't sound right.
Like the epitome of health and vigor. Just minutes before his murder, he has no idea his life is about to end. And here's Karmelo walking up to the bleachers from the steps in the middle of the stadium. He's highlighted in this video. He comes up the stairs and heads down toward the tent where Austin Metcalf was standing with his teammates. I've got to say, like, throughout this, I don't see like the downpour.
Okay. That's what she says. And like I said, they're around the same part. We looking back
the
at
Memorial tent, the Memorial High School tent, where the school that Austin attends. This is where the stabbing took place. Now pay attention to the left, that tent right there, that yellow tent. Pay attention. You'll see some movement. It's hard to see, but it's a lot of people over there. It's more people than I thought would be over there. It's very, very hard to see what's really going on. But you can see, as you see, this is Austin and his buddies walking right now, walking toward the tent.
Okay, that's a big differ. One says Austin and the buddies are already there at the tent, and the other one saying that fucking Karmelo was chilling at the tent. Then Austin's, I don't know. I don't know if people are getting like two different sides of the footage, but shit not adding up.
Or that necessitated him. He had to go underneath the tent. I kept waiting to see like the monsoon conditions, like where's the wind rattling the top of that tent to where like he had to do this thing that would be considered highly inappropriate under any other circumstance, which is to go into an opposing team's home camp and sit with them. It's not there.
Also that narrative, like I haven't played any school sports, but mostly no one gives a fuck about that. Even hearing on the comments of TikTok, no one truly cares about that. That's only governed by, I guess, social mindset. If you want to sit there and claim that as a taboo, I guess, but I feel like that was just an excuse so the school can get that shit off their backs.
He was an agitator. He was trying to prove something. And obviously he was loaded for bear. Before we show you more, I want to remind you what Karmelo's father, Drew Anthony, told that idiot over at the Breakfast Club, Mimi Brown, on June 11th. The most pathetic interview I've ever seen somebody do. You've got the father of a killer. And by the time you were done with that interview, Mimi, you had all but convinced your audience that it was the other way around. Nothing against her.
This is why I say, please think for yourself. These are the people that are trying to push a narrative and then get mad when someone else pushes the narrative. Get mad when someone tells you don't think like what they say. Hey, bro, think for yourself. These people are just playing you at the end of the day. They don't really care about what happens. Or even if they do, it still has no real effect to their day-to-day, and they're too invested in it. Looking back at Unc, hopefully he ain't on the same shit. He ain't calling someone out, talking shit.
They look very intentional, going toward the tent. Look like, they're looking for trouble.
So both sides says the other one were the aggressor. Both sides say the other one were looking for trouble. At this point, it looks like both of them were walking up to the tent around the same time.
And you see not shortly, like after they get there, it's almost like somebody told them, hey, he over here right now, come over here. And they were going over there. They had their marching orders to go over there. And as soon as you look closely under the tent, you'll start to see chaos break out. And then you'll see Austin above the tent, look right above the tent. Austin is going to emerge. I mean, not Austin, but Carmelo is going to emerge right above the tent. He'll take off running. See that scuffle.
Wait, I actually seen something for once. I seen this like a bunch of times, but I actually for once seen something.
He'll
It
take
looked
off running.
it looked like someone right here has their hand up, and I'm guessing that's where Austin is because he was wearing gray. The person in the black ended up pushing the person in the gray, and that wasn't like a light shove. I'm not gonna hold you. That wasn't a light shove.
See that scuffle right there. You see something going on to the right, and then some more scuffling to the left.
And he automatically had that shit on him. So whatever happened instance, in that instance, I want to see how she plays this narrative. I don't want to see whatever the interview was. I was interested, but I know she's just going to paint a negative narrative over it the whole time.
We have the footage that was shown to the jury now. It's a little hard to make out, and we're going to show you a zoomed in version in just a moment, okay? But screen left, you see a yellow tent. There's a group of students sitting underneath it. Near the top, you see a brief altercation, and that's the moment when Karmelo Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf. You then see a figure highlighted running out of the top of the tent. That's Karmelo Anthony. See him running. He's highlighted here. He runs down the steps. He gets to the bottom of the bleachers, trips and falls. He gets back up and keeps running. He knows what he's done. He runs until he gets to the end of the stadium bleachers and then appears to start walking. Got to play it cool. New people seeing you. Don't want to project panic. At one point, he turns back toward the stands and then starts running away again. He can see people are coming. And as he's running, you can see people chasing him and pointing at him. He knows what's happening.
Where's the clip of him running? Where's the clip of him running again?
Let's go back a little bit. Right there. Right.
I ain't seen
Look
no
under the
clip
tent.
of him running, though.
See, it's more than one person right there.
It looks like they were blocking a line of sight. In that case, there was more than one person. The scene was more aggressive. Again, I ain't playing no sides. I like to just see the facts of this shit. Please, don't let any side paint your narrative. Please just paint this for yourself. I'm tired of seeing shit about this and having people just say, well, fuck it. Why should I care? He killed someone while still blasting the next NBA young boy, while still blasting fucking Vaughn. I'm tired of that shit. Like, everybody wants to paint a narrative. Yo, fuck that shit. Think for yourself. Look at this. A situation actually happened. And if you're really invested, actually do the time, look into it, see the research from it. Because there's real facts that paints that both sides are dumb as shit. Both sides are retarded for saying here escalating it that far. Now, the fact that someone has lost their life, I really hate that tragedy. Like Unc said, I do believe people should keep their hands to themselves, but we don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a world where people can just let shit go. I wish they did. Then we wouldn't have to fucking be worried about this situation now.
That's more than two people engaged, you see? That's more than two people engaged, you see? Look closely.
Yeah, someone was right next to him, or like really right on him, and that's not the nigga that pushed him.
But again, fam, that's not even the point. The point is Carmelo was sitting there minding his business, and Austin walked up to him and self-deputized and decided he was going to make him move. Austin had no authority over Carmelo Anthony to make him move. I hear a lot of people saying, "Well, he told him to move. They told him to move." It wasn't their tent. They had no authority over him. They wasn't the boss of him. They had no authority over Carmelo. They told him to move. They told him to move. Hell, as you mean they told him to move?
You see how the lady before, she painted the narrative that, oh, he went off and ran again. He ran again. Shit, I don't know if we didn't get to that point, but either or, even in that mindset, like Unc is saying, that doesn't give the nigga the right to just pull out a knife and just sling that shit. That doesn't give the nigga the right. Now, he was defending himself, yes, but at the same time, it wasn't equal defense. I'm not going to say the kid would have probably ended up getting hurt, but in that scuffle, the time that you had someone there to break it up, the time you had someone to actually chase him down, by time the altercation would have happened, it would have instantly got finished. That's why I said I wish both sides would have thought about it. I wish both sides would have sat here and backed down. Because really, there was no winner in this. There was no winner. Because even if Karmelo Anthony didn't pull out a knife, I feel like the internet would have still been on some shit. And been like, oh, look at these two white kids. They jumped this black kid. It probably ain't even had nothing to do with race. And now y'all niggas making it bigger than what it got to.
If Carmelo wanted to get a damn pillow and spend the night under the tent, it wasn't nothing they could do about it. Maybe a coach could do something about it. A staff member could do something about it, the police, but not another student who is equal to him. Let them tell it he's not equal to them. That's why they went over there messing with the boy in the first place, because they thought he was beneath them. They thought this was going to be another routine, put the black boy in place.
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
What's happening here? It is the equivalent of a car chase, only it's on foot, as the perpetrator who commits a dastardly deed tries to get away. Carmelo slows his pace and sit down under the tent where the murder occurred. Carmelo runs for another team. Again, there was no reason for him to be inside that tent, and he knew it was provocative to do this. A few minutes later, you see Austin Metcalf get up and move next to where Karmelo Anthony is seated. Witnesses say Austin was trying to get Anthony to leave the team's tent. About 3 minutes later, you see two people appear to push each other. Within seconds, Carmelo is seen running out of the top of the tent. By our count, it was about 4 seconds between the pushing and Carmelo running out of the tent. I mean, there was no build-up. There was no long altercation. He shoved a knife in another boy's heart and then made a run for it. After Carmelo ran away from the scene and to the end of the stadium, he's eventually brought back closer to the crime scene by teachers, not because he wanted to, but because they made him. They made him. According to CBS Texas, Memorial High School athletic trainer, that's where Austin went, Tiffany Whitaker, first stopped Carmelo and then handed him off to Heritage High School head football coach Vincent Hooper. According to journalist Sarah Fields, who was inside the courtroom for the entire trial, Whitaker testified that she got in front of Anthony as he was running, put her hands up to keep him from leaving, and then yelled at Coach Hooper, "Hey, this kid stabbed someone. Don't let him leave," end quote. This is when Coach Hooper put his arms around Carmelo in a hugging fashion to prevent him from leaving the stadium. Quoting there, I'm quoting.
Now, I heard the audio for this. Well, at least this part, I'm guessing. Or whatever this bullshit she's talking about. Now, Yeah, but we see how she's painting it versus what we've seen when we see the full clip. Carmelo ran back to the other coach, the older coach, or the gentleman that put his arm around him. And she's trying to paint it as he forcefully had to grab him to make sure that, again, y'all can't just paint him as a terrible villain for this situation. Y'all can't. I don't even want to sit here and say, oh, he's young, he's a kid, he made a mistake. Because again, in my mind, when I was that young, I ain't think about doing shit like that. I wouldn't never been in an altercation like that. But at the same time, you still paint this narrative like the kid's a villain, like the kid's the worst person to come out here. All the kid did was one accident, and the accident cost someone's life. So it became more severe, and then y'all painted a double narrative over that shit.
Carmelo being taken into custody shortly after all of this, where Karmelo Anthony leaves no doubt as to whether he was the one who killed Austin. He tells the officer, "I'm not alleged. I did it." Watch.
It's the alleged suspect.
Okay. I am. No, I'm not. Well, I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did it.
Okay.
There it is. I mean, honestly, I'm not alleged. I did it.
All right, I hope Unc got the clip. I hope Unc got the clip for us. Please, Unc. Don't let me down. Nigga, are you sitting here going to talk about the... Okay, we got more.
Maybe the next video or two that I do, I'll break it down.
So you ain't gonna show us the audio clips or nothing? You just gonna leave it as that? Oh yeah, he did.
Always, that's your default. A weapon is your default.
Wait.
Well, I see a lot of people. Who are riding for Austin Metcalf saying things like, he didn't have to do that. He should have just fought him. When y'all asses just started fighting? When did y'all just start fighting, just using y'all hands? Y'all always.
That's why you stay out of altercations. That's why you don't let yourself get that escalated. That's why you just sit here and say, you know what, fuck it, I'ma head out. It's not because a nigga has authority over you. It's not because a nigga is over you. It's not because a nigga is more superior to you. It's because, all right, why am I making this shit bigger than what it gotta be? Why do I gotta be the aggressor? Why do I gotta be the person that pushes this shit farther? When both of them keep edging it, keep pushing it farther, one of them's gonna end up hurt. And like the lady said, it was no real build up. Them niggas had an altercation. It probably ended up lasting like what, 5 minutes? And then that shit got to physical touch. Now I'm not gonna agree with Unc. I believe he should have fought. Like I said before. The speed that the teacher actually moved up to grab them niggas, they could have sat there and stopped the altercation. And if it really was a problem with Carmelo being there, they could have sat there and settled it. Because both sides want to paint that like Carmelo couldn't be under the tent. Both sides want to sit here and say that fucking Austin laid hands on them, yet it was just escalated. Yeah, it was. It was heavily escalated. Both of them didn't need to push it to that degree. And if Carmelo had a better lawyer, I feel like he would have been walking free. If his family didn't sit here and force the case on him, trust me, the evidence does not look in his favor. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it does not look in his favor. But still, I believe that he would have had a chance to actually walk free from this situation.
Always using weapons. That's your default. A weapon is your default.
No, your hands is your default.
When did y'all start fighting fair?
And they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. That's the alleged suspect.
I am. No, I'm not.
You see how she took that clip out? She wasn't going to sit here and talk about the kid crying, the 17-year-old who just realized, oh, I just fucked up in a way I cannot take it back. I feel like that's another narrative that people keep forgetting. Niggas 17 during this altercation. Am I wrong? And niggas legit during this shit. And y'all niggas literally putting life on him. Y'all literally saying that he should be swinging on a tree. Like, y'all saying shit like that, but at the same time, y'all not seeing the broader statement. The legal system isn't fair. Life isn't fair. If we really knew what happened that day, situation could be different. But I feel like we're too caught up in sides, too caught up in painting narratives, and we're not letting people figure this shit out themselves.
I know how it goes. I'm not alleged.
Okay. Watch your hand. All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Karmelo?
Karmelo.
You could clearly tell this was his very first offense. You could clearly tell that he never been in trouble like this. Because a nigga in handcuffs doesn't sit here and start blurting out everything they done. No matter how severe. No smart criminal, no nigga who's going to sit here is going to sit here and blurt out everything they done. Again, take it as you will.
Heard somebody say, aha, aha. He said he put his hands on me. He didn't say they put their hands on me. If he had got jumped, he would have said they. When you go through something like that, when your adrenaline is rushing, you just, stuck somebody, you ain't thinking straight. And the words may not come out exactly like you want your words to come out.
I ain't even gonna lie, he cooking. Now, I wanted to finish the video on speaking anyway. Like I said, please paint your own narrative about this. I'm tired of seeing hate going back and forth. I'm tired of seeing people say you gotta pick a side over an imaginary battle on the internet. Really, if y'all really care that much about it, if y'all really care that deeply about it, look it up yourself. Figure out every situation yourself. Paint your narrative by looking at every single video, even the ones that are opposite opinion to you, and sit here and realize who's lying and who's not, who's coming up with factual evidence and who's not, who's hiding more of the truth and who's not. Because, like I said, I see major differences on both of these sides, and both of these videos came around last week. So they both got the information around the same time. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. This is going to be my last, and I mean this, unless some real major news, like a nigga getting out of jail, or we find out some big ass shit, this is going to be my last installment on this. Please like, comment, subscribe, and please check out any of my other videos that I end up having. Most likely you're going to like them. I'll see y'all boys next time. Peace.